Okay, this is the last video of 3 talking about awareness and movement. And for your specialty equipment, remember I always ask for something really high tech. You're going to need maybe 3 medium-sized books or something that's more or less that size. You'll see what we're going to use them for. I figured everybody had these. You're going to need some kind of a box that's very sturdy, or an exercise step, or a large book that you have wrapped large rubber bands around so that the pages don't squish back and forth as you step on it, or a stair, an actual one step someplace that you can practice with, and a pair of gloves, and they don't have to match. They don't even have to match your socks. But let's begin with a little weight shift practice. And I'm going to try and keep my feet here where you can see. I'd like you to stand, of course, sideways next to the kitchen counter. But what you're going to do is, with your feet apart, you're going to shift your weight over to one side and back and forth. Now, as you shift your weight, take the heel. I'm going to use my left foot, roll the heel that way, and just bend your knee, come back, rotate the foot in, rotate this foot out, rotate in, left foot rotates out, left foot rotates in, right foot rotates out, right foot rotates in, rotate and shift, rotate and shift, rotate and shift, rotate and shift. We're just practicing that foot flexion and practicing the foot flexion while moving. Rotate, shift, weight, lift, and rotate. Rotate, shift, weight, and rotate. Now, let's take one of your books. We're going to set it on the floor, and you're going to put the foot, one foot close to the counter, and you're going to have the other foot being able to go over the book. And what we're going to do is a cha-cha step, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Turn around and let's do it on the other side. And heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Again, first foot, I'm using my left, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, and I think you've got it by now, heel, toe, turn around and heel down, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now, 2 more books, and we'll place them. Well, this one doesn't want to stand up anymore. I'm going to have to go high with that book, and that one looks pretty good. And what you're going to do is have the books again on the outside, where you have an inside foot next to the counter. The outside foot will be the one that's going over the books. And what you're going to actually do is step. I guess you're going to have to make sure that your books are far enough apart. So go about 1.5 feet and step. Step the inside foot next to the book. Step. Step the inside foot next to the book and over. Turn around and again. Step over next to the book. Over next to the book. Over. One more time through. Now, before we do this, what I want you to think about are the actual realities of life. You're in the garage. You're at the market. They've got things on the floor at the market that you have to avoid. This is going to give you the idea of having to move your feet in a different manner. So you'd be lifting and looking to see where you're going to step. And as you do this, because you've been practicing that weight shift, even though you're just moving your feet forward and you're not exaggerating, except for the lift, you will be able to think about where to set your feet. Just as in the video right before this one, we set our feet on a colorful piece of paper, and we had to look at it and think about it to get to it. Now comes the gloves. What the heck? Lean against something, or you might have to sit down to do this, but you're going to put the gloves on so that the fingers are extended here in front. Now, you've seen clown shoes. You've seen how they're really extended in front. Clown shoes make you do your heel and slap down your foot. There's no other way of walking in clown shoes. There's no other way of walking in a set of swim fins. You set them down, you slap them down. And that's what these are for. And this is to help you with the foot lift and the toe lift when you have Parkinson's foot drop, or you're simply not being aware, or you haven't been using your ankles to lift your toes enough. So what you're going to do is the cha-cha, and you're going to want to make sure that you don't touch that book with the glove. So you're going to look down. Normally I don't like you to look down and look at your feet, but in this case, you're probably going to have to. I think what you're going to find is that you're really going to be exaggerating the lift, and that's what we actually want. And don't you hope that nobody comes over and rings the doorbell right now, because you go to the door looking kind of like a duck. So, put your foot down on the inside and let's cha-cha with the outside foot. Don't let it touch. Don't let it touch. Now that we have our lovely feet on, we can go ahead and move the book. And you're going to either move yourself over to a low step or a curve, any step up, or you're going to take the box and put it next to your counter. The problem with tripping is very often that toe catches. Now, if I practiced stepping and making sure that my extra long clown feet aren't touching the edge of the box, I'm not going to trip myself when I'm out and I'm stepping up on curbs, when I'm going through any kind of public space, because I have practiced in my private space enough that I know I have to be lifting. And when I'm lifting, I have the weight on the other foot. So what I want you to do is practice with the weight on the left foot, lift and clear the box, and don't put your weight on it yet. Just go back and forth. Each time, really think about shift my weight, lift my other foot. Shift my weight, lift my other foot. Shift my weight, lift the other foot. Look how my foot has to flex in order to, I can't do this. I can't, if I do this and I just slop my foot up there, I'm going to be hitting my toes or my extra long fingers, as the case may be. So it's shift the weight and lift, shift the weight, shift the weight. Now, assuming that your box is a good, steady, sturdy box, or you're on a stair, just kind of remember this, or take your computer over to the stair. What I'd like you to do is lift and step, shift weight, lift the back foot, and then step it back down and clear the box. Using the same leg again, we'll do it 3 more times. Lifting, stepping, shifting the weight, bringing it back and coming up onto it. This is forcing you to shift your weight back and forth as well as take that extra big step. Because you take the extra big step and you practice it, then when you have normal sized feet and you do the weight shift, you're really going to clear the box. So on the other side, lift, shift, lift the back foot and shift back. And lift and shift and back. Lift and shift and back. Lift and shift and back. Possibly the best exercises that you can do when it comes to this lifting and keeping yourself from falling when there is an obstacle of that sort, as well as the obstacles of the books and things, because it's making you be aware of what your feet are actually doing. Now, if you wanted to, you can always practice any kind of rotations with your feet with those extra long fingers, and it'll just make you work the ankles and the fronts of the legs all the more. Well, that's it for this time around, and keep looking for more videos. Remember, I've got lots and lots of posts on Facebook that aren't even showing up as videos. But the videos that do show up, almost every one of them does have a corresponding Facebook post so that you can copy it and you can keep it, or you can share it with somebody in your support group. Thanks for joining me.